What's up guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Charles and I've lost about 40 pounds on a plant-based diet. No, I did not lose weight when I went vegan. I actually struggled with my weight for nearly a decade, and it was only when I learnt about calorie density and did a complete overhaul of my diet, finally got consistent for the first time, that I was able to lose the weight, and now maintain it for about 2 years, which is pretty crazy, and it's not a huge effort either. So I'm super excited about this video because I'm teaming up with Tia from Hungry Vegan Mama, and we're going to be sharing with you some of our favorite oat recipes that you can have for breakfast really anytime. I think oats are one of the most underrated foods when it comes to weight loss. So these are some really easy things that you can do to incorporate in your diet that's going to help you feel fuller, it's going to help you get more consistent, and it's also lower in calories than most of your typical breakfast options. Tia is really cool. She's lost about 45 pounds on a plant-based diet, and now on her YouTube and her Instagram, she's helping vegan women and, well, I guess really anyone who wants to lose weight with sharing recipes, sharing ideas of how to get consistent, deal with emotional eating, all these kind of common problems that come up. So what I want you to do is watch this video, look at some of the recipes, figure out which ones you want to make, and then go over to her channel and watch her collaboration video as well. I'm going to be sharing 4 recipes with you: overnight oats, oat groats or groats, however you say it, buckwheat porridge, which actually isn't even oats at all, so if you're gluten-free this is a great option, and then regular old microwave porridge, which I eat pretty much every single day. I'm going to share with you some toppings as well, and then if you hang around to the end of the video, we're going to be sharing with you how to get involved in this challenge, and then head over to Instagram, follow me, follow Tia, tag us and all the stuff, and let's begin this. Let's do it. Okay, so we have a couple of options for vessels. If you're fancy and you want to channel your inner Instagrammer, you can use a mason jar. If you are a bit more basic like me and you love the fact that you can seal a container, then get one of these little sealable containers. So I've put those overnight oats in the fridge, and then I'm going to get them out and show you what they look like tomorrow. So the second breakfast that I'm going to make is just an oat groat porridge, and I love oat groats because they are the whole intact form of oatmeal. What I found is that these are quite expensive to get your hands on and difficult, but I can get them at my local Korean shop, not very expensive at all, and I think they just put them in rice normally. So go check that out. The cool thing about using oat groats is you can cook up a big pot and a big amount in an Instant Pot, and then you can just portion that over them like 3 or 4 days. So I'll just make a big amount, and then I'll show you how I make that up on a daily basis. And then I put it on manual pressure for about 10 minutes. The timer's gone off in the pressure cooker, but you actually want to let it go past that for about 20 minutes. I'm going to be okay with that, and then start to release the pressure. And there we go. That's what it looks like. Super easy oat groats, and this is what they look like. Okay, now let's make some buckwheat porridge. This is a great alternative if you are gluten intolerant. I normally get buckwheat, and it comes in a bit of a packet like this. This is bubbling and boiling away now, and now I'm going to put it onto a simmer, and I'm going to put it on for about 15 minutes just to simmer away there. Okay, so once the timer goes off, don't open it up yet. put the timer, turn it off, and then put the timer on for another 10 minutes. So it does take a little while, this one. That's why I would suggest making a big batch of it at once. So 10 minutes, and then we'll have a look. Okay, so this is what it looks like, the buckwheat porridge. And it's, you just fluff it with a fork and it's ready to go. Easy peasy. So why are oats so great for weight loss? Well, the first reason is they're just low in calories, and when you're trying to lose weight, you need to get into a calorie deficit. So lowering your calories from what you're currently eating is your best bet to be able to do this. It's far more effective than exercise. The other reason that they're so great is because they keep you full, and fullness is super important when it comes to losing weight because it's going to help you stop snacking as much, it's going to eliminate cravings, and just overall improve your consistency and help with binging and any of those things that you struggle with. It's super important to get full, and if you do that at breakfast, it's going to set you up for the rest of the day. I personally think any kind of oats, if you've come from a standard American diet, are going to be great. The best oats that you can have, or really any grain, is a whole intact grain. So something like oatmeal has actually been crushed and it's been steamed. It's not a whole intact grain. Oat groats would be much better because when you eat the intact grain, your body doesn't actually absorb all of those calories because your intestinal wall can only absorb nutrients, calories, from food that it actually comes in contact with. Because you can't chew them up super fine, which is very different to what happens when you process food, you actually poop out a lot of those calories, and it's good food for your gut microbiome. So choose intact grains where you can. So we ran out of time yesterday, and now Nick's going to show how to make just regular porridge. He normally makes it for all of us, but today's just going to do a single serve because I've got all that stuff that I made yesterday. We're going to just be overrun with oats.
Hello. I didn't realise this was all part of the act.
Hello.
Hello. Half a cup rolled oats. In. 1 cup of water. In.
So it's double.
Yes, it is double. And then for half a cup of oats, I'll stick it in the microwave for 2 minutes. And once that's done, give it a stir and another 30 seconds. If I am doing a big batch, I'll do 2 cups of oats, 4 cups of water, stick it in the microwave for 6 minutes, take it out, give it a stir, put it in for another 2 minutes. That's how I do oats for all 4 of us.
Okay, so I've got all my creations that I made yesterday. This is how the oat groats turned out. And so I'll just take probably about 1/3 of this and put that in a bowl, warm it up. This was the buckwheat. So I looked up, the buckwheat's actually the lowest in calories that I could find. The oats are pretty similar, but the thing with this is it's going to keep you fuller and it's going to have less calories absorbed. And then this was the overnight oats, which looks a little bit grey from the cherry juice, but it would be yum. You guys want some overnight oats?
Yes.
You can try the overnight oats and tell me what you think.
Okay, Mom. That looks so good.
You want to sit on that?
Yeah. Mmm.
Good?
Yes. Good ass.
I'll try it as well and see what it's like. Good?
Yeah. Good.
Very yum. So that half a cup of oats didn't really make enough. It made a tiny amount. So more kind of normal serving, that what I bumped it up to was about 3/4 of a cup of those raw oats. And then that made about 400 grams, so about 1 pound of cooked oats. And the reason that I wanted to bump it up was because I wanted to show you what 400 grams, which is nearly 1 pound of all of these foods, looked like once they were cooked, and explain that a little bit. So the first one that you can see is just purely raw oats, and that's 1,500 calories because there's a lot of food there, but because it's so light and there's no water added, it's very high in calories. So the next one that we have is the porridge that I made. So there's less food here, and this is only 320 calories because it's been made with about 3/4 of a cup of those raw oats, and then the rest of that being water. So not very many calories at all. So the buckwheat turned out to be about 350 calories because, again, it was cooked with quite a lot of water. Now, I think that the best pick for you to be eating is the oat groats, but 400 grams of oat groats was 520 calories. So you might be thinking, well, why would you pick that when it's more in calories? Well, if you look at all of these plates, you're not going to be eating that many oat groats. They're incredibly filling. So when you took that down to a volume that was similar to the porridge that you have on your plate with just the regular oats, that's really only about 350 calories. But here's the thing, not all of those are going to be absorbed. Less are going to be absorbed than in the regular oatmeal porridge, and it's going to keep you full for longer. And the key difference that these are quite varied in calories, even though they're similar foods, is because they just have different water quantities. If you remember when I cooked those oat groats, they had less water to oat groat ratio than all the other foods that I cooked. This is the main reason that it's higher in calories. It's not that oat groats are higher in calories than just your regular buy at the store oats. It's that when they are cooked, you cook them with slightly less water. But again, you could cook them with more water. So it's really important to understand that water is the most important factor when it comes to how many calories a food has. So if you're looking at that huge plate of dry oats, most people are never going to be eating that, but they will eat a big bowl of granola, or here we call it muesli, which is dried fruit, dried oats, and then that's going to be exceptionally high calories. Why? Because it doesn't have added water. And this is the reason that vegetables are so great for weight loss. It's the reason that fruit and whole grains and potatoes are so great for weight loss, because they have a lot of water added to them, or they have a lot of water naturally. But when you eat foods that would normally have water added, something like oats, and then you don't add the water, they become pretty calorie dense. So the moral of the story is my pick would definitely be the oat groats, but choose foods that are higher in water. Okay, so we've got our porridges now, and I'm going to show you what we do for toppings and some options that you can have. So I've got the oat grouts, which when you look at it, volume-wise, very similar to just the regular porridge that I've given Nick. So it's going to be very similar in calories now that I've actually taken some out. But I'm going to find this way, way more filling than I find that. I don't actually find porridge like that as filling as whole grains, and it's to do with the fibre content. So options for porridge toppings. You need to think of three main things. Some kind of milk, some kind of like flax seeds. We always put flax seeds for omega-3s. And then some kind of fruit, and then a sweetener would be kind of optional in that, but most of the time we use fruit as our sweetener. So what were you going to pick next? So these are some of our options. We've got frozen blueberries, we've got frozen pitted cherries,
we've got some raspberries.
Frozen raspberries. I also think this can work quite well, which is like a passion fruit and
mango
tropical kind of blend. And quite often we will defrost it, but I'm not going to bother today. Also got some cut up apple here, and a flax.
And some cinnamon.
So what are you going to have?
What am I going to have? Well, as always, start off with flax.
Well, I'm going to have a lot of this apple.
I'll have a little bit of apple.
You like your flax like that. I like it in a bit of a bundle.
I hate clumpy flax.
I don't mind it. It tastes a bit like peanut butter.
I love a bit of cinnamon.
I'm going to put some raspberries. This is where you like load it up to actually make it a filling meal. And then I'm going to have a little bit of this, which is a blend of oats and dates. And I'm going to have that as a little bit of a sweetener. Another option that we sometimes have and we put for our girls is just date syrup. Quite often I don't have this, but I made it, and actually Nick made it the other day. And you can see the recipe in my YouTube video that I will link at the end of this. And I'll just put a little bit on top. Just gives it a nice little chewy texture as well. soy milk. That's mine, that's the toppings on top. Pretty yum, and this is gonna be super filling. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to finish all this.
No.
I'm not feeling super hungry.
This is more than what I usually eat.
But if you wanna eat big, you definitely can. Yum. Okay, so those are my basic as heck oat recipes and a buckwheat. Go over and check out Tia's channel where she's gonna be sharing her recipes, and then head over to Instagram, follow us both, and over the next 5 days, if you wanna get involved in the challenge, make some of these recipes or make your own oat recipes and then share them in your stories or share them on your feed. Tag us and also use the hashtag Oats for Breaky Challenge. This is a super easy and fun way to get more consistent with your diet, lose a bit of weight in the process, and just set yourself up with a really, really good weight loss habit. We'll be sharing our favorite recipes. I'm definitely excited to see what you guys have to say. That's my oats done. So that we can actually try them. I want to try some of your guys' recipes, so either make ours or make your own creative thing. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with, and I will see you in the next video, and I'll see you over on Instagram.